Hi guys, I'm back with another video, and some anime entertain you, but others, they consume your soul and leave you screaming. Just one more episode at late night. We've all been there. So today, I'm gonna give you guys 6 anime with top tier storytelling, the kind that keeps you glued to the screen until you complete it. Then grab your snacks, dodge those spoilers, and let's talk about those anime that will keep you hooked. So let's begin the video. On number 6. Grimgar. Imagine waking up in a strange fantasy world without a memory of how you got there. Instead of being an overpowered hero with cheat skills, you're just, well, no magic, no strength, just a bunch of confused people trying not to get smacked by goblins. Our main dude, Haruhiro, and his equally underprepared buddies form a party because that's what you do in RPG-like worlds. But there's a catch. They suck at everything. Fighting, barely. Teamwork, questionable. Survival, hanging by a thread. With their stomachs growling and wallets emptier than their memories, they take on dangerous quests just to afford food. But this ain't your usual, we beat the boss type of adventure. Every fight is a struggle and people die. Yeah, it's rough out there. Despite the hardships, the group slowly bonds, levels up, barely, and figures out that friendship might just be their greatest power. Well, that, and learning how to stab things properly. So if you want a fantasy anime that's less I'm the chosen one, and more, why is everything so hard? Grimgar is your kind of anime. On number 5. Space Brothers. Meet Muta Nanba, a dude who once promised his little brother Hibito that they'd both become astronauts. Flash forward to adulthood. Hibito, living the dream, training to go to the moon. Muta, unemployed. Just when he's drowning in midlife crisis energy, he gets a second chance. An opportunity to actually become an astronaut. But there's a problem. He's an awkward, overthinking mess, while his brother is a literal Chad of space exploration. So now Muta has to pass brutal astronaut exams, prove he's more than just Hibito's loser older brother, and not embarrass himself in zero gravity. This anime is not just about space, it's about dreams, persistence, and never giving up even when life kicks you in the shins. Muta is one of the most relatable protagonists ever. He's hilarious, self-doubting, but also insanely talented when he stops overthinking. Watching him grow and chase his dream is pure inspiration. Whether you love space or just a great underdog story, this anime will make you laugh, cry, and maybe even rethink your own dreams. On number 4. Katanagatari. Alright, imagine a samurai story where the main guy doesn't even use a sword. Yeah, that's Shichika Yasuri, a dude who fights with his bare hands because his family decided who needs blades when you can just punch people into oblivion. Enter Togame, a tiny bossy strategist with zero combat skills but 100% confidence, who recruits Shichika for a wild mission, collecting 12 legendary swords that are definitely overpowered and probably cursed. Seriously, this anime is 50% epic battles, 50% non-stop banter, but somehow it works. The dialogue is witty, fun, and full of sneaky character development, making every conversation feel like a duel in itself. But don't be fooled by the fun and flashy art style. This story hits hard. The twists will punch you in the emotions, and by the time you realize how invested you are, bam, it's too late. You're in deep. If you love unique animation, clever storytelling, and a samurai anime that feels like a mix of philosophy and high energy action, Katanagatari is an underrated gem you need to watch. On number 3. Orb on the movements of the Earth. You're in medieval Europe, where saying the Earth moves around the sun is basically the same as casting fireball at the church. These people, the society named them heretics, just want to study the truth, but instead they get the Dark Souls treatment. Persecuted, hunted, and threatened with execution for having brain cells. Anime will switch between a lot of characters, so there's not a particular main character, but every person has something unique to offer. Every episode, you're on edge thinking, are they gonna get burned at the stake, or will they survive to write another equation? This anime is so good because it takes something as simple as the Earth moves and turns it into the most intense high-stakes rebellion you've ever seen. It's like Death Note, but instead of writing names, they're writing scientific theories that could literally get them killed. The drama, the passion, the sheer intellectual flexing, it's all incredible. If you love underdog stories, science, and brainy badasses standing up against a world that wants them silenced, On the Movements of the Earth will blow your mind. On number 2. Made in Abyss. Alright, imagine a massive, mysterious hole in the ground, so deep, so dangerous, and so filled with terrifying monsters that only the craziest adventurers dare to explore it. Now, a 12-year-old girl says, yeah, that seems like a great place to go. That's Riko, a cheerful, reckless orphan with big dreams and zero survival instincts. She wants to explore the abyss to find her long-lost mother, even though the deeper you go, the worse the curse gets. We're talking bleeding from every orifice, body horror, and worse. She teams up with Reg, a robot boy with a laser arm and an existential crisis, and together, they descend into what can only be described as a nightmare wrapped in cute aesthetics. At first, you think this is gonna be a fun little adventure story with adorable characters. Then boom, pure suffering. This anime doesn't just break your heart, it crushes it, sets it on fire, and laughs while you cry. The story is so good, it's a masterclass in world building, mystery, and emotional devastation. The Abyss is one of the most fascinating fantasy settings ever. Every layer has its own unique, terrifying ecosystem, and the deeper they go, the more horrifying things become. This anime does not hold back. I highly recommend watching it. On number 1. Vinland Saga. Meet Thorfinn, a cute little kid who idolizes his badass warrior dad, Thors. A guy so strong he could probably one-punch a bear, but Thors is like, violence is bad, my son, which is ironic considering they live in the most violent era ever. Unfortunately, peace doesn't last long because along comes Askeladd, the smoothest, most manipulative Viking leader to ever scam his way through history. And boom, tragedy strikes, Thorfinn's life goes full revenge mode, and now he's stuck in an endless cycle of stabbing people while yelling, Askeladd, fight me! But surprise, this isn't just a revenge story, it's a masterpiece about war, loss, and finding a reason to live beyond violence. Season 2 hits different, turning from Viking Naruto into farming simulator with emotional growth. And somehow it's still amazing. It's deep, with complex characters, stunning action, and life-changing philosophy. The growth of Thorfinn from an angry murder gremlin to a true warrior of peace. Chef's kiss. If you understand the real meaning behind the story, it will change the way you look at life. Also, Askeladd is one of the best written characters in anime, no debate. That's the end of this video, and if you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button. Also tell me which anime you're gonna be watching tonight. I'll see you in the next one.